Hi everyone, we at midday.com are honored to have two award-winning filmmakers in our midst today, Ashwiny Iyer Tiwari and Nitesh Tiwari, known for their exceptional storytelling skills. So, first, do you want to tell us how did you convince, Leander and Mahesh to do Breakpoint on Z5?
I think we need to start by telling a big thank you to Vijay Subramaniam from the Collective Artists Network for bringing us their story, Mahesh and Leander's story, that one afternoon during the pandemic in March 2020, when we got a call from them and they asked us that whether we would like to tell the story of Leander Paes and Mahesh Bhupathi, and like the friends say, Mahesh Bhupathi. It was like really you want us to do that, and so it's gratitude, and it is also a hope which happened during the pandemic where we could tell their story, because we both are tennis lovers, and we could tell the story along with Piyush Gupta, who's a writer also.
Yeah.
So this gave us hope and a light during the pandemic to explore and research Mahesh Bhupathi and Leander Pace's story.
Yeah, but a lot of filmmakers had been trying this for years, but it's you guys who I think won them over. So, how difficult was it to kind of convince them to talk about, especially, like the series as Breakpoint? So, about those topics that are not easy to kind of bring out. On screen.
When we had our first chat with the two of them, we went very well prepared as to how would we want to tell the story, how would we want to approach, and we had our own valid reasons why would we want to tell it this way. And I think somewhere they got a lot of comfort in the fact that we were wanting to keep it very neutral. We were going to bring out many more perspectives rather than just the two of them talking. We wanted it to be a combination of a fanboy and a common friend who's standing in the middle and telling it as it is. So I think that gave them a lot of comfort, because it's not easy to open up, and it's definitely not easy to open up when you are such big names. There's always going to be an apprehension, and why would you want to open up to strangers? But somewhere I think maybe that's the confidence they never got when they were approached in the past, and maybe without even knowing about that, somewhere we did something right which kind of convinced them, and here we are few days away from unveiling it to the world.
I also feel that it's very important to be mindful of why are we still telling the story, and about whom are we telling the story. We are telling story about two legends in the world, and it's important to respect their thoughts, their words, and also as people. And if someone comes and tells me, "Tell me your story today," I don't think so. Like Nitesh said, that we would be very open and just say, "Okay, now tell us a story." We need to trust that person to tell our story. And during the due course of time, it didn't happen in like a day. It took a little while to get that trust through a lot of video calls. But finally, when they realized that we are here not to judge, we are here not to take sides, and we are here only to tell their story as is, and tell their untold stories, when the trust built, and they could just say what they had in their hearts without feeling two ways about it.
And I think somewhere it also helped that I think the two of them realized कि थोड़ा बहुत tennis हम लोग को भी मालूम है. that also kind of helped. Yes, these guys know tennis, so they would not be randomly doing something which is not going to do justice to tennis also. So we needed to do justice to both. We needed to do justice to tennis and their story both. So there is a professional side to them which you will see, and there's a personal side to them which you will see.
And also one personal side would be that maybe the following years we will get Wimbledon tickets too.
Yeah, that's true. No, I was going to ask you that.
Personal interest.
Yeah. No, I was going to ask you that. How do you recreate the Wimbledons, the French Opens, the Grand Slams? That's like part of Indian history, sporting history. So how did you recreate that on screen?
No, there was no need to recreate it. Because the footages are there. They are archival footages. But what you don't know is what was happening.
Correct. Yeah.
What we have done from our side as storytellers is, you may have seen those matches. Those matches are available for you to see, but you would never get to know.
Correct. Yeah.
When they were playing final against Goran Ivanisevic and Jeff Tarango, what was their strategy? what was happening during the side change, what
And
was
what
talking,
kind of numbers were they giving behind their
what kind of
back?
things they were giving to each other, what was
Yeah.
the scene,
Yeah.
how did they face defeat and overcome that, so many things, so it's going to be very, so for a tennis fan, there's going to be beautiful behind the scene story of what actually champions think. And for the lovers of human stories, they would also love to hear actually what was the relationship between the two of them when they were
Yeah.
achieving
Of
the
course.
maximum in their lives.
Yeah.
So there's a lot.
And you've actually managed to get some of the biggest sporting stars from all over the world, that too, through the pandemic. So that's really remarkable, right? So how did that come about?
Lot of thanks to Mahesh and Leander for going out of their way, and it shows their passion. It also shows that they also wanted this to turn out this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that also shows the belief which they had in our storytelling capabilities, that they went out of their comfort zone because we had no access to these legends. I mean, Woody's and Brian Brothers and Hingis and Radek Stepnik, Mark Noels, Bjorkman, and even Sania Mirza, Rohan Bopana, getting Nandan Bal sir, Jaideep Mukherjee sir, their parents, families, sports journalists, and everyone.
One of the boys' favorite women tennis players. So there were like a lot of them there. I still remember the day we were talking to her. There was like this fight between Nitesh and Piyush, that who's going to interview her today, who's going to speak to her today, because I was taking care of the back end of everything. And here there was like, okay, today I'm going to speak to her. We are going to be on the call. I will speak to her.
Okay.
There was like this little fanboy moment every time this was happening. And of course, because of the time difference and everything. So yes, coordination during the pandemic, and also we're talking to legends about legends. So
Yes.
it's important to respect their time and to be very specific about what kind of colors we want them to wear, what we want to do, what kind of art do we need in their background, what kind of tech checks were there. So it was difficult, but I must say, as true sportsmen, like Leander always tells me, you tell me, give me good instructions, I will listen carefully and follow that instructions. And this was across. I think this is like a talent to understand and seek, is that they listen to instructions so carefully across everyone, and you tell them this is what it is, and they will follow those instructions carefully.
Yeah, and like you said, you all are known to be like sensitive filmmakers, not too over dramatic. That's something people really like about both of you. So how do you kind of maintain that balance? I'm sure that's something also that got them on board, because they knew it would be real, not dramatic.
See, out here, we did not even have to make a choice. While you're making a movie, you have to resist a lot of temptations, because there are certain things like which you say, let's do it this way, it's going to be very good. But then as a storyteller, you say, no, but that's going to be very cliche. Let's not do that. So you have to resist that temptation. But out here, everything is so organic, everything is so natural, all the emotions are real, it's just straight out of the heart. We had to only facilitate a very comfortable environment for everybody to feel like opening their hearts out. That is where our maximum effort went in. And I think what you will see is what actually is there. So we did not even have to try anything to dramatize or subdue or do anything, because we just wanted real emotions to come out. That is where you feel victorious as a storyteller, that you are managing to tell a story not only in a correct structured manner, but also in an emotionally correct structured manner. Because if somebody is feeling hurt, that hurt has to be seen on screen. If somebody is laughing, or if somebody is blushing, or if somebody is feeling angry, you have to let him be or her be like that out there. That is the maximum precaution which we took.
I think as storytellers also, intention has always been that we reflect a reality of life, because no human being is perfect. Everyone has their flaws, and everyone has a good and a bad side. And even whether we're telling it in a fiction or in a non-fiction format, the truth is that it's three-dimensional, and characters are three-dimensional. And also, as a storyteller, what you say, what an audience seeks, and what a character tells are three different dimensions. And it is important that all the three perspectives are looked at. So this was another way to tell the same story, but from the voices themselves. Yeah.
How did you kind of decide to cast them rather than actors, which is the norm kind of? So, and a little bit about the title as well.
What happens normally is, and that's the way we function. For us, substance is what dictates the style. It should not be the other way around. Style should not be dictating the substance. And the kind of substance we had on our hands kind of pointed in the direction that it has to come from the two of them. Leander should be heard, Mahesh should be heard, and so should everyone who has played an integral part in their lives be heard, rather than you hearing about their point of view through somebody else. So there's great amount of authenticity when you tell a story which is like this, and that is exactly what was substance was pointing out, and that's the reason why this is the style we have chosen to tell it.
Right. Thank you guys so much for doing this.
Thank you, Natasha.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.